What benefit do you think these extra NATO troops are going to bring to the fight in Afghanistan?
Well, they are training Afghan forces, but they've been doing that for 16 years, and it hasn't really paid off. They just classified the amount of Afghan security forces fighting and those that have been casualties because it's going up. And, you know, there's no reason to classify the figures other than it's an embarrassment. And I think that, you know, if U.S. forces, 100,000 U.S. forces couldn't defeat the Taliban, you know, it's going to be difficult for the Afghan forces because they're not very good and they don't fight very well.
I'm glad you mentioned that number, 100,000 over those years of 16 years of the war in Afghanistan. They weren't able to do anything. I mean, where are these troops going to be based? And there is, of course, the resurgent Taliban and other groups in Afghanistan now they'll have to face.
Yes, well, they're supposed to, the increased numbers allows them to get closer to the fighting. And when they say they're just training, sometimes they go into battle with the forces and sometimes they get into combat, whether they're designated for that or not. And then, of course, you do have your special forces who are hunting terrorists who are designed to go into combat there.
And Ivan, it's always worth remembering, isn't it, that trainers were the first people who went into Vietnam. Is there a threat here of sort of what they call mission creep, that as you slowly start increasing the numbers of going in and training, the fight just gets away from you and you send in more ground troops?
Yes, well, they're escalating the war again, and you know, it always comes down to, well, if that doesn't work, if the Taliban is still increasing, then we got to put more troops in there, and if the Taliban doesn't go home or stop fighting, we got to put in more forces, and here we go again, right up to 100,000, maybe more. So Trump seems to have been sucked into this. I think he should have just cut his losses when he made the same mistake that Obama did. Obama should have cut his losses and left in 2009 when he first became president, saying, you know, this is my predecessor's war, it's not mine, it's not going well. But Trump, the generals have, you know, he's got 3 big generals around him as close advisors, and I think they've convinced him to go for it again. And
therein lies the rub, doesn't it, Ivan, with cutting of one's losses. The Americans, after invading Afghanistan back in 2001, feel like they have to see this out, but it's a war without end, surely.
Well, we made the mistake of not just hitting the Taliban after 9/11 and threatening to come back and level their country if they ever supported another terrorist group. Instead, we tried to remodel the country, and we've tried that 18 times since 1900, and it succeeded only 4 times, and that includes the Afghan war, because as far as I'm concerned, it's over. We've lost it, and we should just get out.
Okay, well, I wonder if they're going to listen to you. Ivan Elland from the Independent Institute in Washington, thanks for joining us.